Hello, this is Brian. Today is a scintillatingly gorgeous April 6th, 2019. I am on the Pacific Crest Trail just behind Grassy Hollow Visitor Center, which is just there beyond these beautiful Jeffrey pines and white firs. This stretch right here is insanely beautiful. There's a white fir down there. Maybe on the way back I'll get some footage of it. It has one of the largest trunks I've ever seen on a white fir, and that includes hiking in the Sierra Nevada in very lush forest. So the Jeffrey pines get quite a bit larger here because I guess that little bowl right there retains a lot more moisture. The white fir's not exceedingly tall. The white fir had its top broken off a long time ago, so there are a couple of large leaders trying to take over. But it's quite a tree, I'll tell you. Beautiful tree. Took pictures of it. But this is actually my third hike of the day. My previous video segments featured me hiking up that mountain right there from Blue Ridge / Inspiration Point Vista area as peak 7600. Now I'm going to hike to Jackson Flat. I believe I pointed that out on the previous videos as well. Take the PCT most of the way, then I'll meet up with either a use trail or take the Jackson Flat Road the rest of the way. This is an insanely beautiful area. I've driven past the Grassy Hollow Visitor Center several times, many times, on my way to or from the mountains. Now, if you're trying to come up here right now, you're going to have to go through the Cajon Pass because there's slide damage along the Angeles Crest coming up from La Cañada, so just be aware of that. Now we're in a really thick stand of Jeffrey pine and white fir. I remember I've hiked Jackson Flat once before and hiked it from Vincent Gap, which is a much bigger elevation gain. I'm starting at 7,300 feet and I'm going to end at 70,560, roughly about that. But I remember some of the stretches of the PCT I took from Vincent Gap, and I took it around and kind of went backtracked to get to the top of Jackson Flat summit. And I remember there being some nice sugar pines over there. But these Jeffrey pines are quite decent in size, probably about 120, maybe 130 feet tall, some of them, especially the tall narrow ones that are more in the drainage. These ones are a little shorter because they're more exposed and windswept. But this is actually another really wonderful spot. I mean, they're all wonderful spots here in the San Gabriels, but here, if you're looking for some tall trees, some tall, large, hefty trees, and some insane scenery, look at towards Mount Baden-Powell. 9,399 feet of fun. Hiked up that one twice. Once from Vincent Gap, and then once from Dawson Saddle. But right now the view is the trees. And look at all this regrowth here from a fire years ago. Look at all these Jeffrey pines. And then we got, this is a blue elder right here, Sambucus nigra variety Caerulea. It's still kind of in its dormant phase right now. should be leafing out later on. And we get these little gooseberries and stuff that leaf out a little bit earlier. But we got these beautiful white firs. This is Abies concolor, variety concolor. I believe these are variety concolor because they seem morphologically similar to what I've read about the Rocky Mountain white fir, which is variety concolor. The variety in the Sierras is variety Lowiana. The needles are thinner and not quite as waxy. And the needles on most of these trees quite thick and waxy. So that's why I believe these to be variety concolor instead of variety Lowiana. Regardless, you can get quite large here. I mean, I've seen them up to about 180 feet here in the San Gabriels. And remember, this mountain range is a lot drier than the Sierras. So for trees to get that tall out here is quite a feat. But this is a scintillatingly beautiful stretch of Jeffrey Pine White Fir Forest, which the San Gabriel Mountains are famous for. Jeffrey Pines and white firs. And of course there are spots where sugar pines are really thick too. I'm going to be heading towards an area where there should be quite a few of those. Some quite large ones too, I believe, if I remember correctly. Very picturesque. Here's a nice Jeffrey. So you notice the top of this one is flattened and it's favoring this side. It's because the wind howls from that way. When you come up here to a lot of these ridge lines here in the San Gabriels, expect to see lots of windswept trees. It gets quite windy. When I was on peak 7600 about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, it's very breezy up there. But this is why I love coming to the San Gabriels. It's just hanging out with these beautiful coniferous trees. White firs and the pines, they all belong to the pine family, Pinaceae. And I've seen a few Jeffreys here in the Angeles that have gotten close to 180 feet. If you're hiking down the Burkhart Trail from Buckhorn Campground, that's where you'll see some huge Jeffrey pines as well as some huge ponderosa pines, which are fairly scattered here in the San Gabriels, ponderosas. So if you want to find those, usually flats in low mid-elevation canyons, you won't see, at least I haven't seen a lot of ponderosas above 7,000 feet. And we're above 7,000 right now. Alright, looks like we got our first deadfall of the day. Well, of this stretch. I'm just going to go hike over a little bit. Hike up the pine needles. Alright. But now, I'm going to continue hiking. In my next segment, I should be by where the sugar pines are. Unless I find something I need to point out. I do see a couple sugar pines over here. One there. There's one off in the cut a little bit. But I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing a lot more of them as I hike along this. So I'll see you in my next segment along the way to Jackson Flat Summit area.